Today's commentary at the feature table, we have CamDeman versus Tombox. On the blue side, Cam will be taking the DDD deck for a test drive, while on the red side, I will be taking a freshly repaired build of K9 Vanquish Soul with more K9s thanks to Doom of Dimension. Will Cam destroy me, or does the K9 Vanquish Soul still live on in Doom of Dimension? This is Tombox. Please like, subscribe, and let's head to the table.
See if I can pull off my Excel spreadsheet correctly.
It's time to duel.
It's time to duel indeed. This time we have DDD played by CamDeman, and I've switched back over into the deck I'm still coping with, K9 Vanquish Soul. The deck post Doom of Dimensions, is it good enough? We'll see, but it's still good enough to win the die roll here, so I'm going to be choosing to go first with K9 Vanquish Soul versus CamDeman. Again, we're kind of putting DDD through the ringer here. See if we can go through the gauntlet of these decks. We're going to play with a deck that's one tier below compared to last time's video, which is DDD versus Yummy. A very difficult matchup unless you can establish that floodgate. It's not the easiest thing to establish if they know what you're playing. Yeah, let's just put it that way. So, starting off with the turn, we've been focused more onto pushing a couple of new cards into the deck. Of course, we're down to one Raisin, one copy of Stake Your Soul. I think it's actually fine. Starting with the Case of K9, adding the new card, Naroi. K9, I think 04 Naroi. That's an Earth Machine monster, so it's also searchable from the typical Earth Machine combo. But I've added different searches into my deck. If you guys seen the deck list at the very beginning, we are choosing to play 7th Tachyon. And I don't know why Cam is showing him hand. His effect is not on summon, look at your opponent's hand. It's to send a face-up K9 card to do it. The normal summon effect is to E-Tele out a monster. It is to tour guide out one of the K9 monsters, and that's going to be Jokol. Jokol being special summoned out, but that monster is locked under a particular restriction. While it is face-up on the field, your only access into the extra deck is with K9 monsters. So you can only summon out K9s. But at this point, if you start with the Case of K9, one of the recommended moves before you activate anything else is to mess with your opponent by, let's just activate Pegasus' special ability, Mind Scan. Look at their hand. But I guess I didn't do that. Instead, I'm going to go add the Izuna right away, considering that even if he does waste a hand trap, it makes my Izuna stronger. So we're going to send away the Case of K9, dude. Now actually look at the hand here. Ooh, that is three 1-card starters. One of them kind of doubled up in name. There's a Griffin for the extender, and he's got the DD Necro Slime. So whenever you see a Necro Slime in their hand, there are ways to toss it into the graveyard, such as Count Surveyor, which will load the grave and add another card into hand. And I think you guys got a peek of one card in my extra deck, which is going to be the C106 Giant Red Hand. We're going to overlay into K9 Ripper. Number 17, the Ripper. We're going to detach the Ripper. We're going to detach the Naroi. The reason why we go for Naroi, it's because it's Earth for one, so it's harder to hit with like a Bystial, harder to kind of banish. On the other hand, you just revive it. Right? That's like just a habit right now, because one of the typical open plays, if you open Naroi without Case, they won't activate Naroi first, so you have to resummon the Naroi to get the activation. Not in this case, but just, future tips, for the future. Activating the Lantern that was searched out earlier, Lantern effect Lantern was already in hand, the Izuna got added to hand. We're going to summon out the Naroi with the Lantern effect, adding ourselves a spell card. This gives us the K9X Force Release into hand. And now we're activating Jokol. Seeing that there is no nib in hand, that hand check was egregious. This is the point where you know that your opponent only has gas, so the best way to play into that hand is to overextend to the point where they can't play. To the point that you can card for card them and they can't do anything about it since they have no response. So we're going to summon out the Jokol with the Izuna together using the effect of Jokol. Jokol, well, it doesn't do anything here. Izuna is going to launch a Lupus into the graveyard. And since none of this is, all these monsters can't go into Light Exceeds monsters, we're tossing all 4 of them into the graveyard for the safest Saryuja possible. We're going to summon out Saryuja Skull Dread. Saryuja Skuldred effect. You may shuffle the deck. 1, 2, 3. I know what you guys are thinking. Tom, what are you doing showing your hand? You're not even supposed to reveal any of these cards, but we're just giving the camera a glimpse of how good a Skuldred 4-card draw is. And you can get rid of some of the cards that aren't as good. Now we can get rid of some cards. I guess we don't really need the 7th Tachyon anymore. The field spell we can probably dig back. There is a Mad Love in hand, so we can try to re-plus our hand so that the 4 cards that Saryuja put away, we can just put them back in our hands. Yeah, let's get rid of the 7th Tachyon. 7th Tachyon is not going to be useful. It is a very awesome card because it's a search card that can search for both K9 and it can also search for Vanquish Soul. Not to mention we also added a Rhoda into our hand. Did I put back the Rhoda? I did put back the Rhoda. You might be thinking, hey, why you put back the reinforcements of the army? It's one of the rarest ways to get the Raisin back into hand. But I don't want to add Raisin into hand. So I activated the effect of Saryuja Skuldred to summon out the Mad Love. Mad Love get the field spell of Vanquish Soul Start. Start can now target the Mad Love. And that could get something useful like a Raisin, but it likely won't be Raisin. I'm just sitting here behind the desk and I'm like, I don't want the Raisin right now. I can just special summon it out for free. So we're going to go with Jiaolong. We're going to manipulate so that we have double fire. We did reveal the Ash Blossom, so there's a Jiaolong and an Ash Blossom. And if we can get the plays out later, that's even better. Special summon out the Heavy Borger. Borger is Chain Link 2 because Skuldred is going to be Chain Link 1. Fun fact, here's a note for anyone playing Skuldred. You have to get rid of your own Skuldred when you're playing against Yummy. They're going to keep summoning into Arrow, and therefore you just gave them an all-you-can-tag-out buffet by them just constantly summoning into that Skuldred. It's going to activate. It's mandatory. It's a beneficial effect for Yummy. And now that we've tagged back, we drew a card with a Heavy Borger. Now we're summoning out the Holly Sue. Holly Sue summoned out gets the additional boost for Skuldred. And then Holly Sue will also have the effect to summon out an additional card with a Darkened Fire. Likely the Mad Love and maybe the copy of Jiaolong. We also just added into hand. Those are the reveals. Summon out Raisin into the column with the extra monster zone that's open. Now we can use that to add another copy of Jiaolong or Caesar, and it seems like Caesar is going to be the card being added. There's just so many cards. This means that the trap card is going to be live to be set this coming end phase. Linking one into Rocket the Vanquisher with the Raisin. Before anything, Skuldred boosts the attack of the Rocket the Vanquisher by 300. And then we're just going to add the card back into hand. So many cards in hand. You got to set a couple of them down, Tom, or else you're going to have to discard cards. I guess set one card down. Rocket the Vanquisher also needs the boost die. Sure, 300 each. And we're also going to set up the trap card, Vanquish Soul Snow Devil. And now Kamadaman swapped his deck to play Mech Knights to summon into the Saryuja column. That's great. And search 3 cards. Oh, this is for Heavy Borger. Heavy Borger effect. Add. Time to enter main phase. And then I'll be more scared if he's like, oh, now entering battle phase. No, that would be so scary. Hey, maybe it's a good tech. Maybe evenly match is a great way to wipe off these kinds of boards. Starting with an imperm. Okay. Imperm. Targeting the Holly Sue. I don't know why Cam is doing that. Maybe he's trying to clog up my zones. Maybe he's trying to force me to do something. Maybe this is triple tack. Maybe he's trying to break the board. Oh, wait. Is he hitting the Ripper instead? No, Ripper's pointless. He knows Ripper's pointless because he knows that Ripper is just going to get swapped into a rank up. That would rank up into something that's even worse for him. I guess I'll just chain my Holly Sue to summon out another monster. It's kind of clogging the board, but there is a Caesar in hand, so Caesar can swap that monster out quite quickly. We're getting Jiaolong. Jiaolong is able to fetch additional cards because there is a fire in hand. There's another Jiaolong. There is a Raisin. There is an Ash. There's 3 fires in hand already. Now that the Holly Sue has been disabled, Dark Contract with the gates. The activation is A-OK. Or is it? Activate Jiaolong. Revealing Jiaolong and Raisin? Okay, Jiaolong, Raisin, like getting the search. And also activating Caesar. Caesar targeting the Jiaolong. Caesar on the field. Oh, yeah. So this is in response to the activation of the card. So this is going to be very, very messy for Cam if he wants to activate this card. That card is hard once per turn. But the hard once per turn, I don't think he's going to be able to benefit off that card. 8 cards in hand for Tom. Too many cards, in my opinion.
12 cards in hand.
If the board needs to be empty, there's still Vanquish Snow Devil to destroy my own cards to reopen some space. He's going to attempt to use it. Attempting to use Dark Contract with the gate. That is going to be met with Caesar chaining, revealing 1 of every attribute. Every attribute now is going to non-target destroy a card on the field on top of that chain, destroying the Dark Contract with the gate. I think I've seen everything he had, because the only card that he didn't have was the Imperm. So I know that he has 2 copies of the Doom Queen. He has a Necro Slime that's stuck in his hand. Activating the Doom Queen, DDD. Demise Doom Queen, Machinax. The Motherly Contract, trying to play the Motherly Contract. I don't know why I said that, but we're placing a Dark Contract onto the field. Is it Zero King? Is it the one that prevents all materials? I don't know, but it's going to be the Dark Contract with the Zero King. Dark Contract with the Zero King effect. Destroying the Queen. That's going to be met with an Ash Blossom. Never let that card effect go off. It just snowballs into something crazy. It'll never give them that momentum. The reason why you don't let that destruction happen is so that they don't get the Queen also in the extra deck that can potentially act as a follow-up. Normal summon out the DD Necro Slime. Okay, well, he's got the Necro Slime on board. And he can activate the Griffin as the additional special summon. This can actually be problematic if needed, but instead that's going to be met with the K9 X-Force release, targeting the Ripper. X-Force. Rank up and destroy. We're destroying the Griffin. And, okay. The reason... You might be wondering, why don't you just like activate the K9 Ripper just to negate the Griffin and just kind of end it there? It's true, I could have done that. I didn't, because I wanted to showcase the K9 666 Jax. And this is a double pop when you do the whole K9 force release, because on summon it'll pop a card, and on the resolution of release will also pop the other card. That just loads everything into the graveyard. With nothing in the graveyard, that's not gonna do anything. I just need to do 7,000 damage, and this is gonna be game. Not that there isn't already 7,000 damage on the field. I mean, typically this would, if we were playing a tournament, you should scoop at this point. You know that it's over. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like revealing a D shifter. Hey, okay, why not? In terms of the board, do I have 7,000 damage? Absolutely. There's 26 from Jax, 3,000 from Caesar, 25 from Borger. Yeah, it's just battle phase. We're just going for the swing now. 3K, and that's game. That's toastery. Game 2. Okay. Hand knowledge is broken indeed. Getting the little check right there, taking the first game pretty one-sided. I think that hand check is gonna be the most annoying effect that people are gonna see in this coming format. I think people are gonna be complaining like, that's not fair. Why does he get to look at my hand? And it's like a card that generates additional advantage on top of looking at your opponent's hand. It's a +1 and look at the opponent's hand. That's what people are gonna be complaining about. If it was just a -1 and look at your opponent's hand, I don't think they're gonna care as much. And let's see if I can take it to... Oh, well, Cam Demand, fight back. He gets to go first now. Is a DDD board breakable in the eyes of K9 Vanquish Soul? Cam starting with Count Surveyor and throwing away his Kepler. I thought the Kepler was the default normal summon for the deck. At least it used to be. Is it different now with the new DDD cards? With the DD Count Surveyor being special summon Count Surveyor effect, I guess it can just retrieve another Kepler into hand if that's a thing. It is technically it is a thing. It can be a thing. But instead, we're gonna add the big mama of DDD, the DDD Demise Queen, or Zero Demise Queen Zero, or Machinex. The names are so long. I feel bad for the the commentators in the future. There's just, they gotta read the full names. Reading the full name and keeping up with the commentary is going to be quite the challenge in the future. Whoa! So apparently, Count Surveyor's effect is not inherent based. It's something that does activate and start a chain. And because it starts a chain, it enables the K9 cards from being played. Okay, cool. Now that we've gotten to this point, I'm going to activate the Vanquish Holly Sue effect, revealing the Jiaolong. Okay, that's pretty good. When you reveal the Jiaolong, it indicates that you already have the fire. So do we have the dark? We're going to attempt to activate Holly Sue for the dark. We're trying to do the maximum damage here. Is it good enough? We're going to go for the special summon effect to attempt to summon out Raisin onto the field with the Holly Sue during the opponent's turn, so that we can destroy the Count Surveyor and possibly destroy the future one. But that is met with an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring to respond to the Holly Sue effect, so that's negating Holly Sue effect. I guess I'll just chain on top of that with a Heavy Borger, putting the Holly Sue back into hand. Very good play on Cam's part. You got to keep those Ash Blossoms ready for the Holly Sue, maybe even for the... What's her name? You know what's her name. The K9 Izuna. If you get the K9 Izuna, that means you can block the Lupus. But if you have both, there's nothing you can really do about it. So we got ourselves the additional draw. The additional draw was the case of K9. No help there. We were really just looking for the Izuna to try to keep the play going, maybe absorb a couple of monsters here and there. But here we are watching the... Because first, successful resolution of the DD or Dark Contract with the Zero King summoning out the DD Savant. Copernicus effect is going to throw a card into the graveyard. That's going to be a DD or a Dark Contract card into the graveyard. Land Soldier is now essentially the go-to monster that most people put into. But instead of Land Soldier, I think Cam is tossing in Necro Slime. It could mean that the Land Soldier is already stuck in hand, but maybe not. He's not putting that... I don't know where this is going in particular. Or maybe it's because the Land Soldier doesn't benefit in this particular position because he already has a Scale Surveyor. And Scale Surveyor is going to activate change its level to 4, providing Cam with 2 level 4 monsters, enabling the option of DDD Wise King Solomon. Wise King Solomon has been played onto the field. There you go. Wise King Solomon. Solomon effect activate. This provides with the addition of another DD card from the deck into the hand. And most Dark Contract cards are not considered DD, but Dark Contract with the Zero King is technically a DD card. Here we go. We're going to see the ad of DD Griffin, one of the best monsters in the entire deck. Most card names in the deck are just one-ofs, but the, I guess, DD Kepler, DD Griffin, and the Doom Queen, those are all 3-ofs. And we're going to overlay on top of that Wise King into a King Tell. That's the ability of King Tell. And King Tell hitting the graveyard, that means we get the additional Foolish Burial-esque effect. And that's going to be 1,000 damage on Cam for the effect of Gilgamesh. And that's going to be 0 and Demise. I'm surprised it's not Orthus. Orthus is like crazy good. Now they're going to normal summon out the Kepler. Oh, he already had another Kepler. Oh, wow. Okay. Now that's going to add a Dark Contract. Oh, no! Oh, he's going for the other one. Dark Contract with the gate. Okay. Activate gate. Gate effect to search. I guess they're a DD player. You gotta really know your combo line, or else you're gonna be playing into time. And making you both lose. Now he's adding the Land Soldier. What an interesting line. Oh, he technically can still Pendulum Summon it out. Oh, he's trying to build a full board. He did rework his line to do it a little bit differently. But hey, Pendulum Summon, the skill is 0 and 5. I think there's nothing in the extra deck that has anything. So, Land Soldier and Griffin. Wait, Griffin's not in the grave. Griffin's, So yeah, Dark Contract allows Clovis to special summon from the graveyard. The Griffin is not supposed to be in the graveyard. And he's continuing to synchroing once again. I hope he remembers to put back his Griffin. Siegfried's now on the field. I think he completely forgot about his Griffin. Yeah, no, the Griffin's definitely forgotten. Activating the Necro Slime and the Scale Surveyor. And Scale Surveyor got hit into the graveyard because it was the material for King Solomon. That's going to Synchro Summon into Flame King Genghis. And he's going to continue to Link Summon. I think he might have shorted himself a monster because he completely forgot. Genghis effect. He's summoning back his Clovis. And now overlay the two into DDD. Everyone's favorite. DDD. Wave High King Caesar. Now he's got the double negate. He has a second Pendulum Summon if he pops a card. See, remember, he passed by that Griffin a couple of times. He still hasn't put it back yet. Ragnarok has not been activated. Ragnarok on the summon of... Ooh, Ragnarok on the summon of the DDD Wave King Caesar. Summoning out the Gilgamesh back onto the field. And overlay the King Deuce Machinex onto the field. Yeah. Okay, so aside from the Griffin being the incorrect spot here, I don't think anything really changed. Would he have done a second Pendulum Summon? I don't think he has the correct levels, perhaps. But he already got his Synchros out. I'm ready to get my butt kicked right here. The danger of letting DDD combo is not just that you have to play into a board that is full of negations, full of disruption. It's just that even if you clear off the board, you still have to answer to Sky Crisis, Arc Crisis. The Arc Crisis will destroy you. If you leave too many monsters on the field, it's going to be a very big problem. If you look at the disruption count here, it's going to be 1 from Sky King, 2 from Wave King, 1 from Siegfried, and as for Machinex, I think there's 4 on Machinex. Was 1, 2, detach 1, and they'll add 1, and then detach the other remaining 1. So that's about 4 disruptions just from the Machinex alone. So that's 9 disruptions. Okay, Borger effect, revealing Borger to draw a card. Can I get an out? Can I get an out? And also the additional disruption of DD Doom Queen in the extra deck. If any of the triple Ds are destroyed or any of the dark contracts are destroyed, she special summons herself back out onto the field. And on that special summon, that's also going to be a non-targeting destruction on the field. Activating Case of Canine, and that's going to be negated. I really wanted that Case of Canine to resolve. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case for this Canine. Siegfried effect has been activated for that negation. So that's one spell trap down. Only like 7 more disruptions to go, I think. You can't just battle away this board, unfortunately, thanks to the extra deck copy of Doom Queen. What are you gonna do, Tom? You gotta make the play. You gotta commit. Commit for the content. Oh. Interesting. Oh yeah, you're committing into a play that doesn't let you summon anymore. I didn't want to activate anything more, but I did want to turn off like 4 disruptions with 1 play, and that's going to be Zeus. Not Zeus. Zeus's Arch Nemesis, Sky Crisis. You have your Arc Crisis, I have my Sky Crisis. So Sky Crisis has, of course, the effect to turn off some of the problems here. Number 1, the biggest problem is going to be the DDD Wave Hiking Caesar. That turns off the Holly Sue in hand, so that's the card that has to go. We're going to be battling into that one, and we're going to toss everything into the graveyard. I really wish that didn't have to be the case, but unfortunately, we're going to have to battle that in. So that, first of all, takes 100 damage onto Cam, just from that battle. Next, we're going to detach from the Typhon. Typhon can spin away one of the further negations, which will be the Zeus. So how appropriate. Typhon taking out the Zeus, because we're leaving Typhon up because the Machinex can't activate, and well, I guess neither Machinex can activate. You can't get the Doom Queen to activate. You can't get the Deuce King to activate either, because they're both like 3,000 attack. So that takes care of that problem. My hand is just the entirety of the Holly Sue line, and knowing that Cam may not be able to deal with it, we're hoping for the best here, that we have enough to answer for the rest of the field. 2,000 damage to Cam because he's taking it from the contracts that he's signed earlier on in the turn, and we're going to get Machinex being put into attack position. This is like looking like good news for me. I'm ready to summon out Holly Sue. Holly Sue, because all of my monsters are sub, 3,000. Revealing. Oh no, that's met with a Dominus Impulse. This is one of those Impulse decks. I think that's gonna be it for me for the turn. I really was relying on that Holly Sue to take control of the entire field. Would it have actually won the game? I'm not too sure. Just because Holly Sue would have summoned more destruction-based effect. Maybe I would have went for a bounce-based effect as well. But the problem here is that the Holly Sue did not happen, and therefore there's no Raisin, there's no destruction. I feel like Cam still probably would have won. Mainly because Sky King Arc Crisis. Or is it Sky? I don't know. I don't remember the king's name. But essentially the one that the fusion one, the fusion pendulum. He banishes all 4. He can't activate the effect to negate the field. But the ones that get banished will activate. Therefore, he can still attack everything, I believe. And it will have the piercing. And it will have the burn, which is enough to take me out. Cam doesn't need to think too hard now, considering that I don't have any further interaction against him. Going for Dark Contract with the gates. Being destroyed by Lance Soldier. Is it enough? In terms of pendulum, does he have a pendulum here in the graveyard aside from that misplayed griffin? I think he does have a name. I think he has Copernicus in the graveyard. Oh, a Ghost Belt, the summoning of the Lance. And he's going to perform a Pendulum summon with Lance Soldier and Kepler. Yeah, he has the Synchro, the Xyz. The Fusion is also in the graveyard because the High Wave King Caesar has been taken out. So yeah, no, he definitely has all of the required typing. He can also just banish that Kepler. He's doing the contact fuse. Clovis. The first King Clovis. The Wise King Solomon. It's a pendulum. Yeah, he's gonna go for Griffin. That's not supposed to be there, but it's okay. It doesn't change the game. He has Copernicus. Copernicus is there, so it doesn't really matter. So it still would have came out legally, and even if he didn't, he still has like the Kepler that he could have banished because it's on field or graveyard. So he's got the big boss. It doesn't activate to negate my entire field. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, no, the Dimension King Sky Crisis is here. He looks like Sigma from Mega Man X. So now it's got the Flame Wingman ability to anything and destroy. It burns. Second effect, it pierces. That's a big problem because the moment that the Typhon is destroyed, I believe in one of the damage steps, after damage calculation, it turns off the continuous effect, and therefore I still take the burn. So I'm taking 4,000 on this alone. Because the moment it's considered marked for destruction, the effect turns off. That is continuous. And therefore I take 4,000, I take 3,000, and I just take the lethal amount of damage. And I'm zeroed out. Man, it's just like you can't break the board without finishing them off because you have to deal with such a crazy boss monster. Like, I probably would have to hold Raisin in my hand, or not in my hand, but in the deck and summon them out at the correct timing to deal with Sky Crisis and maybe destroy it. Because Sky Crisis does not, I keep calling him Sky Crisis. Arc Crisis doesn't have any kind of protection. And therefore, that concludes game number 2. 1 game of peace. Yeah, I could not break into that board. I think the pivotal thing that stopped everything from going crazy likely was the Ash Blossom to the Holly Sue and the impulse to the Holly Sue. Like, stopping Holly Sue was priority number 1 for Cam, as it was the major disruption. It definitely worked out for Cam. So 1 game apiece. We're going to game 3. Am I going to be able to play with this current hand? Ooh, it does look like I am able to. There is starting plays. There's a shifter. I think we're going to have a little fun with this one. Do we want to see a shifter game? I'm thinking, do I want to do this weird thing for the content, or do I just want to take the win with the shifter? It's a choice that I can make. But if I'm not going to play with the shifter line, I have to think about, like, okay, how am I actually going to play out this hand? So we're going to normal summon out the Mad Love. Mad Love effect. Is it a bait? Is it real? Cam decides whether or not to throw the Ash Blossom down for that Mad Love, and he throws the Ash Blossom down for that Mad Love, which is actually not bad. I was hoping for an Imperm, so I can do a tag out with Borger. But burning the Ash Blossom was beneficial in a way that 7th Tachyon is now alive. Okay, so we're going to go for Borger. Borger, just tag it back, add the Mad Love back into hand. Now we can activate the Borger too, because it's Mad Love in hand, and get that draw. Nah, oh. Borger shows the D-Shifter. That was a psychological attack on Cam. You show them the D-Shifter. Ah, drew into a Holly Sue. Okay, that's pretty good. That's like broken good. Yo, yeah, D-Shifter hurts the deck a lot because everything that's the pendulum skills that are getting destroyed and whatnot, they're getting banished now. There's a choice. Is there a D-Shifter line that I can do with like Raisin? It was the easiest thing with just like, oh, you just go into like Rock of the Vanquisher, add back your card after you set up your entire field. But unfortunately, there's no fire yet. I don't play the fire option, which is Battle Cestus, so that I can add Jiaolong into hand. Although it adds Jiaolong and it also adds the other card, Izuna, if you play it. So I'm going to show the giant hand. Either you throw Shifter here or you don't, but no matter what you do, it's not going to look too hot here because I did not activate the Shifter, so we're not going to see Shifter play today because the 7th Tachyon is heading into the graveyard, if you didn't see it already. So yeah, we're not doing Shifter. For the content, let's not do Shifter. Can we play through this as normal? But he did activate an Ash Blossom, which makes the Izuna a pretty beneficial play. Although I thought about doing Izuna, like trying to drop the Izuna, try to put the card back, but unfortunately, 7th Tachyon is already here. So I'm just trying to rewind the play a little bit. Like, it didn't really work. That's okay, we'll just accept it. Going for the Izuna because you activated a card in your hand, because Cam did that with the Ash Blossom. Therefore, the Izuna will activate and now put Lupus into the graveyard. Doesn't seem like my Vanquish Soul line is going to be as strong. Didn't really get a total hand check against my opponent. Could I have gotten a hand check against my opponent at this rate? Probably. We're going to overlay into the Lupus. I've already performed a normal summon on my case. The only way that I could get that far is I go with Ripper, add. I have a Holly Sue. I can push. But I think this is going to go for Lantern. Lantern can special summon back the Izuna from the graveyard. Lantern can also add a spell card into hand to keep the flow going with the monsters. And slight misplay on my part coming up is I'm going to add the Lantern, but I forget to set the K9 X-Force release. So Lantern effect, I don't know, I just kind of rush into the play here. Lantern effect, it's okay. If someone makes a misplay, they just made a misplay. There's not much you can do about it. Lantern effect, add the spell card, Izuna. Can't really do anything here. But that's the card it summons back. Lantern, I really wanted to add a case of K9 here, so I can keep a flow of monsters against my opponent. That's not going to be the case. One card I am considering playing with the current version of the deck is also the other K9 rank up card, like LC Liberation or LC Release Restraint, because it's a card that can be used in any phase, and even in the standby phase you can put a Hound, and Hound can banish a card. And you can switch out, like, say, your Valen. Valen can now be turned into a K9 monster, like Jax, and that'll get a pop. And if you detach the Valen, you pop the thing that you just booked. So it can be a double pop as well. And therefore, there's the Valen as the Xyz summon. And we set a card face down. Valen, the Super Psy Sky Blaster. Set 2 cards. Pass turn, we get the additional draw from the Heavy Borger. Against a DD matchup, I don't mind doing that. Oh, do I just draw? He just he didn't want to cut. Passing into standby phase. Okay, maybe we'll actually get a pretty good game here where it's not just like a one-sided combo tutorial. Activating gates. Attempting to use the effect search. And it is okay. It is going to continue. And we're going to see the Doom Queen, DDD, Queen Machinex onto the scale. I don't like it, but it's okay. Don't rush into things. You got to think about the play here. Is the DDD on the pendulum scale the issue, or is it the dark contract that she brings out the issue? That's what you got to think about when it comes to these particular plays. And I assess that, hey, the Dark Contract is way worse. It lets them set up the Queen's extra deck effect and lets you set up, like, the additional summon. So we're here going to activate the X-Force Force Release. It's going to destroy it on the activation, preventing the destruction of the Pendulum Scale, and puts up the Werewolf. And this time it's a little bit different. I didn't go for Noroi. I didn't have the hand check, so I'm just going to have to play it normally as is. Normal summon. Defense Soldier. Activate the effect of Scale Surveyor to summon. I'm going to chain DD Scale Surveyor to look at my opponent's hand and temporarily banish it. Yeah, that's just going to go back into Banish now temporarily, so he cannot get additional cards. Now, with the Fusion play without a proper Fusion card, he is a little bit locked out. I think he can still attempt. Does he not have the ability to fuse the contract? Oh, he doesn't. That's an Ash Blossom in the graveyard. And he sets a mysterious card. So if that card in the graveyard, I believe it was a DD, I think he could still perform a fusion. Hand Knowledge wins again. Well, more like Hand Rip wins this game because now he gets his card back. It's a temporary banish, much like SP. But being able to look at your opponent's hand and knowing what they're able to do just lines up all the plays so perfectly. At this point, this is merely just a formality to close out the game, knowing what I have in my hand, knowing that I can just really push super hard. Borger being able to fetch additional draw. The D-Shifter did not get activated. We're going to draw a card, you know, in honor of the D-Shifter. Drew into Stake Your Soul. Stake Your Soul now. I think that's just going to be too good of a card. With Werewolf on the field, that can banish a card on the field and in the graveyard if Cam chooses to activate anything. I don't think he can even activate anything, so that's likely a dud effect. Take the two cards, Heavy Borger, Valen, turn that into an SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight doesn't have to activate, but the Valen will destroy the face down. Activating Stake Your Soul, that's what I'm actually going to do. Revealing the Earth. Oh, revealing the Earth. That's going to be a Holly Sue being special summoned onto the field. With the Holly Sue special summoned out, that's likely just going to be one effect that she can activate. That's going to be the Raisin already in hand. So it seems like I opened the one-ofs, or rather drew into the one-ofs, giving the Raisin and the Mad Love, while still holding the normal summon. So this is still pretty good. We're just trying to close out the game now at this point. Summoning out the Caesar. Caesar Valius has been summoned onto the field to the effect of Holly Sue. We know we have the attribute. We have the Earth from the Ghost Spell, and then we have the Mad Love, and oh, he's gonna chain the Call by the Grave to the effect of Caesar. Well, Caesar doesn't target, so Caesar now will likely pop a different card. Or we can just activate the Ghost Spell in hand to prevent the banishing of any of the cards. Oh, but instead we're gonna chain. We're gonna chain Ex-Werewolf. So we're gonna banish 2 cards, one on the field and one in the graveyard. Well, we're gonna take away the Pendulum Skilled Machinex and the Contract, because the Contract can be used for negation for Sky King Zeus Ragnarok. And now the Caesar will destroy the Land Soldier. Valen into attack position. That's 25, 3,000, 3,300. That just go into battle. This is it. This is a conclusive end to this particular match. We're going to battle phase. 25. 25. I'm trying to make him burn himself for game, but I don't think these particular monsters can do it. Yeah, no, there's just no threshold where it would actually lead to it. I think if the Holly Sue was in attack position, maybe. Yeah, it didn't work out. But yes, I guess I take the match here today. Yeah, it's very hard for DDD to go second. But with that, we conclude our match of DDD versus K9 Vanquish. With more focus on the K9, we witnessed how powerful Noroi was. We also got to witness the 7th Tachyon being as the additional tech that as searches into either of the Holly Sue or into the K9 engine as well. So very powerful stuff. But sure, it locks you out from getting into the Rocket the Vanquisher, but that's okay. And with that, Cam gets knocked out in a 1-2 match for Tom. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button, hit subscribe, ding that notification bell. Well, you guys already saw the deck list at the very front, so well, I'll still probably put up an actual deck list talking about the combos later in the future. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.